Robert LiMandri is the acting builder commissioner of the City of New York, a position he was named to in April of 2008. Commissioner LiMandri joined the building department in 2002, first serving as deputy commissioner of operation and later as the first deputy commissioner.
Good morning, Chairman Miller, Ranking Member McKeon, distinguished members of the Education and Labor Committee. Thank you for this opportunity to discuss construction safety regulation and enforcement. And frankly, the previous testimony really hits home today. Like yourselves, and like many Americans, I'm deeply troubled by the recent construction accidents in New York City and across the nation. While we all know construction is inherently dangerous, there is no excuse for failing to minimize the risk. Since Mayor Bloomberg took office in 2002, the department has set high expectations for integrity and accountability, raised construction safety standards for the industry, and improved our own enforcement of existing regulations. Advancing construction safety demands attention from all levels of government and requires a steadfast commitment from industry. We have 975,000 buildings under our jurisdiction and issue approximately 170,000 permits each year. We have undertaken an aggressive enforcement effort to promote worker safety, but it is simply impossible for our inspectors to be at every job site all the time. Construction safety requires dedication from all responsible parties in government, contractors, architects and engineers, owners and workers. Everyone has this responsibility. In order to meet the challenge of enhancing construction safety, the Department of Buildings has undertaken a seven-pronged approach. First, we nearly doubled the size of the agency and focused more resources to construction safety. Second, we sought new and improved regulatory oversight and enforcement tools. Third, we created a new enforcement program to stop problems before they become serious. Fourth, we supported an aggressive criminal prosecution of repeat offenders. 5, we are currently conducting a top-to-bottom review of high-risk construction areas to further enhance safety. 6, we are holding all parties accountable. And 7, we are focusing on education for construction workers and requiring site safety managers in more locations in order to have a constant safety presence. In terms of resources, we are now better able to target high-risk areas of construction thanks to increased staffing under Mayor Bloomberg and the City Council. In our special new enforcement plan alone, we have identified 144 dedicated engineers, architects, inspectors, lawyers, and support staff working to raise construction safety standards and to aggressively enforce them. Expanding our regulatory and enforcement tools has also been a crucial component to advancing construction safety. On July 1st of this year, the new New York City construction codes go into effect. They put construction safety front and center and replace the city's outdated 1968 building code. We are also launching our construction analysis and oversight plan, an unprecedented top-to-bottom examination of crane, concrete, and excavation operations to improve industry practices, government oversight to minimize the risk. On the enforcement front, we are actively issuing stop work orders, a particularly effective tool that we have in our arsenal that allows us to immediately halt unsafe construction. Finally, earlier this month, Mayor Bloomberg and members of the City Council announced an aggressive legislative package that would enable the department to track various types of contractors by their safety records. Overall, it has been an enormous but necessary ongoing effort. However, improving construction site safety also requires the federal government to take an active and aggressive role. I'm proud of New York City's partnership with OSHA, as much of our progress would not have been possible without their dedicated staff. Yet it is clear that OSHA had more additional staff, our achievements would be far greater. I urge Congress to follow New York City's lead in allocating increased funding to construction safety and provide additional resources to OSHA so they can deploy the construction safety inspectors they so desperately need. Right now, we have approximately 7,500 active new building construction sites and 8,000 additional major alterations. As was indicated earlier, OSHA has a minimal number of compliance officers. They simply cannot cover enough ground. While OSHA inspectors do their best to respond to emergencies and complaints, they lack the critical enforcement tool I mentioned earlier, the stop work order. Without authority to halt unsafe work, when they find it, OSHA inspectors can only issue fines. I want to get to cranes. The tower cranes that build our skyscrapers are like airplanes. They cross state lines. They demand regular maintenance and need skilled operators. They have interchangeable parts. We first support the proposed modernization of the crane OSHA rules. Because these cranes move across state lines, it is important that the federal guidelines be updated. In addition, what we'd like to see is an invaluable black box technology to be required in every tower crane across the country. Third, cranes that have these interchangeable structural components must be clearly labeled and must be able to track over their lifetime. And fourth, we are strengthening and expanding tracking and testing requirements for tower crane components. We can do a lot in New York City, but the entire nation deserves better. The time is now to make meaningful changes. Facilitating development does not require turning a blind eye to safety, and New York City we will not. Thank you.